I did a trip to Boston and New York recently, only 8 days, but I found a lot of very good merchandise, very clever, very amusing. A lot of it's fun, so this is only some of it, I think. So here, for instance, is a very witty idea for birthday candles. You have to stick the toothpick first of all on the cake, and then the candle goes on top. It looks like a fire hydrant, but these are sparkling ones which don't go out, so when you blow them, they'll relight and keep relighting. What a strange idea for something that's supposed to be putting fires out. Very witty. And then Sip and Spoon is for very small kids who are drinking or trying to spoon their yogurt in their mouth. There's a little hole in the bottom which comes out at the top, so you suck as well as spooning the stuff into your mouth. Nice idea. And then there's a lovely glass over here which lights up when you put some liquid in it, which I now do. It's got a little terminal in the bottom, and when it's lit, it starts sparkling away and keeps going for as long as you have the drink inside. So if I drink it now, it'll turn off, I hope. Done. Cheers. Clever one. Then there's birthday cards from Japan, which are something else. Each of them is highly developed electronics. This one, for instance, when you turn it on, now I've got to blow out the candle, so that funny little message, I think it was happy birthday in Japanese. And another variety of these beautiful Gakken cards from Japan has a bit of something where you can do your own thing. I'm adding the sound to it. Wow, what a piece. So the Japanese are well up with the most enjoyable of birthday cards, everything. I love their products. Also in a party theme, this is a wobbler, but it's also a bottle opener, of course. You just lift up the cap to it and it works extremely well as a bottle opener, but it's a wobbler, which is one of my favourite topological toys. If you're really in a party mood, I suppose you put on this silly mask. I fancy doing this with a straw in it or something like that, and the mask goes like this. Yes, well, it passes. So outside the party theme, we've got a number of extraordinary things over here, optical things. There's a set of glasses here, which is, I think, invented quite recently, and the idea is you put them on your face, and then you adjust them with the screws on the side here to your exact focal lengths. First of all, one eye and then the other eye, and when they're exactly set, you break off the screws so they can't be reset, and those glasses are then custom made for your eyes. They have a little bit of liquid in between the two layers of plastic. Very clever bit of science. They were very expensive, but they've come way down in price now. They're getting quite buyable, I feel. Then for the kitchen, we've got some extraordinary idea here, something which goes and covers their lids, which covers drinks and bowls with little bits of silica rubber. There's lids, but in fact, there's such a strong suction you can actually lift up the whole piece. We'll have a go. Almost lifted up. Anyway, the idea is not to lift up; it's just to cover it, make a slight vacuum, and that keeps away flies and some smells coming out and so on. And there are several different sizes. This is a big one, for instance. This one will lift up the whole bowl very easily. But it's not to lift up. It's the idea is form a partial vacuum, and that then preserves the food inside. Silica rubber, hibiscus, and sunflowers and so on. But a nice little thing for the kitchen. Very sensible too. Here's a beautiful paperweight. This is one of my favourite things, I think. When you turn it upside down, what will happen? An astonishing thing. Little tiny bubbles of, well, they're actually little balls of plastic which are lighter than water, which is in there, coming out of the volcanic cone, looking for all the world like lava erupting from the top of the volcano. Wonderful effect. Then when you turn it upside down, all the lava goes back underneath the cone and re-emerges on the second cycle. So it's a paperweight, but a very, very spectacular one. Also for the office, you must of course have a stapler. This one is a lighting one, so when you staple the first time, it lights up nicely, both sides. And when you staple the second time, it turns off again. Sometimes it flashes as well. So that's all it does is create a little office, a useful office stapler, but it has the extra thing of having lights that flash away. I like things like that. A snail light, which I found in a hardware store, and when you turn it on, it lights quite strongly. But look at this, you can pull it out, and this undoes like a snail uncoiling. This will clip onto a book, so it's a light for a book, and a variety of other things go into my lapel. And then when you finish using it, you curl it back up again, and it flips in back into a snail shape. Very elegant, very well designed, and very functional too. This is an extraordinary light, which is normally put into the mains. I've just got my own bodgy main. I don't actually have the Phillips type sockets in my house, so I bought a socket with me. But the idea is, when the lights go out, when there's a power cut, this will stay on, and it's been fed by the current. And then when you want to go outside, you merely undo it, because it's got secondary batteries inside it, and use it as a torch. And to do that, you simply pull it like that, and there's a perfectly good functioning torch. Turns off, turns on. Put it back into the power socket at the end of the trip outside, and it will charge up again. Very, very functional and very strong too. A useful thing to have. For the office, we can have a folding ruler. This goes in your pocket. It's very small, but look at it. It opens up beautifully into a 12-inch ruler. And depending on how you put it back, you can get all the odd numbers at the top or all the even numbers. I quite like that idea of a bit of mathematics involved in it as well. There's all the even numbers. But it's a very, very compact folding ruler, which is 12 inches long, and yet goes into a thing that size. This is a very jokey item. It's a Minister of Silly Walks watch. It comes in a lovely tin too. And here's John Cleese doing his wonderful act with his legs in very funny gangly angles, I think. And it's made by a company that calls themselves the Unemployed Philosophers Guild. And they have jokes everywhere, even things like on the back it says, for use, turn over and use the other side. Well, of course you do, you turn it that way. But it's nice because the two legs of his legs show the hour hand and the minute hand, and then there's a small normal sweeping second hand going through as well, which is sensible, I think. There's a very nice design of spinning top, which I admired enormously at the New York Toy Fair, and I finally got a sample on this trip to Boston, New York. It's got a wonderful, wonderful vortex to it, and it's only meant for very small kids, but it's too good for very small kids. Adults enjoy it. It spins and looks very elegant. It spins upside down. I'll stabilise a bit better. And it comes upright. And then it will spin, and with a straw, because of the veins there, it'll speed up and keep going for as long as you've got breath, and it keeps going on and on and on and on and on. So very elegant spinning tops from a company in America. Beautiful. And the last item, no, there's two more items. There's this one here, which is a Prisma. This came out last year in New York. I like it very well. I've enjoyed playing with it. It's they call it a Parallelepiped, the shape I think it makes. But someone at a shop in New York has thought of the idea of disassembling it and making a double one, which I've never seen done before. So this is actually two pieces of these, and it makes a lovely series of different shapes. And this is a duodecahedron, I think it is. But it then goes into X, Y, and Z axis shapes, which is beautiful. It's got a lovely feel to it. The actual plastic is well done, and the movement is extremely smooth. So a lot of fun for geometrists who love playing with geometrical objects. So the last item is an extraordinary thing which came out a few years ago, and I lost mine, so I'm very more than happy to have another sample of it. It's a jigsaw puzzle made by an American company. It's got two sides, it's got a picture on the back as well, and it's one piece, would you believe? That is one piece of puzzle. To prove it, I'll undo it. One piece of puzzle, just one piece, all joined together. What a idea. So that was a very good trip to Boston, New York. I'm looking forward to my next year's one.